Yo, Incredible here. Welcome back to Game Pass Gems. We review Game Pass games. Today, we'll be talking about Exoprimal. You follow the story of your nameless and voiceless protagonist who has been hired by Leviathan to be an exosuit pilot. The gist of what's going on is dinosaur outbreaks are going on all over the world. It's up to exopilots to defeat the dinos and save lives when these outbreaks happen. Long story short, the obviously evil AI turns out to be evil and is trapping exofighters from all different dimensions to participate in its war games to gather data to create the perfect exosuit. Why? Who knows? Why the AI is obsessed with dinosaurs in particular? Who cares? Nah, I'm just kidding. Well, ironically, the game asks the same question, and of course, you'll have to progress through the story to see. Speaking of story progression, this game is a bit different. You get this analysis map that unlocks nodes after each war game, and you slowly start chipping away at the mystery of the super evil dinosaur-obsessed AI Leviathan. The story is told in two ways: the standard cutscenes or this Metal Gear Solid-esque style where they are talking icons, essentially. The lack of story mode didn't bother me as much as I thought. Even without traditional story mode, the premise was interesting enough to keep me pretty engaged. I did enjoy the characters, but overall, due to the lack of cutscenes and actual story missions, that earns it 2 out of 5 stars. Next up, let's get into gameplay. This game is a bit different. You can progress through the story by participating in the war games with other players since there are no dedicated story missions. You have 3 options: PvP, where at some point you'll have the opportunity to actually fight the other team; PvE, where you'll just complete the objectives faster than the enemy team to win; or random, which is what most people choose because you get a slight XP boost. You'll be running from area to area, culling outbreaks, protecting towers, fighting bosses, etc., all while racing the other team who is doing the exact same objective. At the end of each objective, it lets you know if you're moving faster or slower than the enemy team, and it gives you a silhouette of where they are, so you can mentally gauge how far ahead or behind you are. With 3 distinct classes that we get into in a second, teamwork is vital. PvP isn't the only way you can directly attack the other team. Throughout the match, each team will unlock a dominator. This allows one player in your team to control a T-Rex to attack and disrupt the other team. And let me tell you, these things are beefy. When a dominator is called, you really have to drop everything and take it out. Exoprimal in general throws a lot of enemies at you. You'll be finding pterodactyls, T-Rexes, triceratops, and there's like 3 different types of raptors in this game that look exactly the same, but those are the main enemies. At the end of each game, the MVP is displayed. It's the only time you really see your character outside of cutscene. Win or lose, you get put on the end screen depending on your score with categories like damage, amount repaired, damage blocked, class specific things. But of course, we gotta talk about the suits. Suits are divided into 3 classes: Assault, your main damage dealers; Tanks, draw the enemy's attention and have lots of health; Support, they heal the team and help control the battlefield. All 3 classes feel dramatically different and are needed for each battle. You can't run in with 5 assault characters and be successful. All exosuits feel dramatically different from within their own class as well. For example, in Support, the Witch Doctor can paralyze enemies and do AoE healing, while the other can float above the battlefield, dealing long-range damage and healing allies. You got exosuits that can fly, use melee attacks. You want a giant machine gun or katana? They got that too. Each suit also comes with an ultimate that charges with the more damage you put out. The ultimate does not charge very fast. You'll get 1, maybe 2 uses throughout the entire match, so use it wisely. You can switch suits at any time, but keep in mind you will lose your alt charges. It's still handy because particular suits are good for certain situations. You can also upgrade your exosuit the more you use it and add augments to give buffs like extra health or movement speed when your health is low. You upgrade these augments through the game's in-game currency, Bitcoins, BIC. Each class can also attach a rig that changes up the gameplay even further. You start with a railgun and a healing cannon, and it isn't class locked, so mix and match to your heart's content. With that being said, gameplay is one of the strongest parts of Exoprimal, and that earns it 4 to 5 stars. This game, of course, has a battle pass system called the Survival Pass. There are certain cosmetics locked in the Survival Pass, of course, and you'll get more bitcoins and chests, etc. The monetization aspect wasn't really in my face, and from what I've seen, there's really nothing here that can affect actual gameplay. You do earn the currency to buy these cosmetics as well. Also, I mentioned earlier that augments and cosmetics share the same currency, bitcoins. So you'll have to ask yourself, do you want to look cool or do you want to be strong? And we all know the answer to that one. Alright, cool, let's get into some technical stuff. Graphics and sound. I played on PC for everything and the game looks good and polished, and I didn't run into any graphical problems at all. It's not the craziest looking game in the world, but it's definitely serviceable. I didn't have any issues around the sound either. The soundtrack does its job getting the player pumped to take out some dinos, but honestly, I can't remember a single track. But overall, that definitely earns them 3 out of 5 stars. Last but not least, is the game fun? This game really shines in the fast, flashy gameplay with explosions, fists, and rocket fire, where you take out hordes of enemies, coordinate to take out T-Rex, or you just completely outpace the enemy team. I found myself getting super competitive after they announced we're behind, or we just narrowly beat out the enemy team. The story premise is interesting, but I was here mostly for the gameplay, honestly. The true fun of the game lies in the core gameplay loop for fighting dinos in a myriad of ways. So for fun factor, Exoprimal earns a healthy 4 out of 5 stars. If the lack of story mode doesn't really bother you, you should definitely check it out. Or if you want to escape from the same old and just want to have some mindless dinosaur fun. Thanks for coming to the new installment of Game Pass Gems. Leave a like and check out some more videos. And comment down below any other Game Pass games you want me to play. See you later.